Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new edition of Bigfoot Tales. Yep, I'm back in the marketplace. It's been a long time since I've been able to do any videos or get out in the woods. I busted up my knee pretty badly last year, and a lot of other problems have cropped up which have prevented me from going out. But I did manage to get out a few times. This is clip that you're looking at is
That's a
from
bad sign.
one of my earlier
Surveyor's
um,
tape.
research areas that had become compromised. Somebody had apparently figured out where this area where I'd had some sighting and evidence experiences, and they invaded it with their ATVs and whatnot, and pretty much destroyed it. So it's been over a year prior to being here at this point in time that you're seeing that I've been in the area. And I couldn't find much for sign. It looks like it's a pretty dead area. There's new surveyor tape hanging from the trees, so I'm guessing probably that some of this land is going to be divided up and sold, probably to people from away, and they're going to post it, which will put yet another area off limits to me and our research. But that's the way it is. It's one of the funny things about bigfooting is you have some people that are real diehard researchers. They don't say much. They just go out in the woods and do their thing, and you never really hear about it. And then you get another group of people who like to have stuff up there on a daily basis, and they keep showing things that may or may not be sign. My experience is most of what I've seen, uh, the sign that is being presented as Bigfoot sign can easily be attributed to other things, but that's not either here nor there for this discussion. Um, but one of the main aspects of doing Bigfoot research, and you'll notice there's some nice bends in there. Those are all actually caused by snow weight. They're not unnaturally caused. But back to the point here, one of the things that you never hear about in Bigfoot research are the fact that to find real evidence requires many, 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 many hours of research in the field. You have to go out, you have to learn what you're looking for. Uh, you have to become very expert at tracking and very expert in the ways and wiles of the woods. You have to know what animals are there, you have to know what birds are there, you have to know how those birds and animals act, behave, what sounds they make, what kind of sign they leave, what kind of tracks. Um, I've seen snow tracks being presented as Bigfoot tracks that, upon further examination, you would find are probably from a coyote bounding through the snow, not from a Bigfoot.
Clickers on that one.
But again, uh, it's neither here nor there for this discussion, I guess. One of these days, I'm probably going to do a rant on, you know, what I find wrong with a lot of the Bigfoot community. Too much of it today is about hype and about advertising, clickbait, and trying to get people to uh, go to their channels so that they can sell something, whether that be simple advertising time or a product or an idea so that you'll support them financially somehow,
That's right over there.
either by giving them donations or by buying something. But there is a place for that sort of thing. You have TV shows and various entertainment projects out there that are making money off of the Bigfoot community by promoting and pushing those aspects of Bigfoot itself or Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it. But my aspect is I've seen some things out there. I'm not quite sure what they are, but I want to find out what they are, and that's what I'm doing. I painstakingly research an area over a long period of time. This particular place that I'm at, I've spent approximately now a span of pretty close to 5 years now that I've been going back on a regular basis, except for this past year where I couldn't get out. And of collecting evidence
I don't
and
see any
taking pictures and
disturbances
noting
that
the
I used to see down
differences
here
of
on
the
the
environment and what's been happening. But this is a new year. There are new signs coming out. I've been out this past fall, and the reason that I'm doing this video is to show some of this new sign. I have a couple of other videos that I'm going out. You notice that this video that I'm doing right now is not up to par with some of my earlier ones, and that's because I had 2 computer crashes last year, and I was without a computer for a long time, and I don't have internet access anymore. So I'm getting back there, though, thanks to the good graces of somebody. I now have a new computer, and next step is going to be to get some good software so I can go back to making some good videos in high definition instead of this lower quality standard definition. But I will get there, and I will get there soon. And I have quite a bit of video that from last fall time frame that I'm going to be showing over a couple of different videos, and there will be some exciting and interesting things. But coming up then towards the end of this one, you'll find some interesting signs by way of tree bends. Um, Tree bends are always an interesting subject to discuss. Um, 5 different people can look at the same tree bend and they can see 5 different things about that bend. But when they come in pairs and multiple units all in the same area, uh, it's one thing to suspect that they're probably snow caused by the weight of snow falling on them and slowly bending them over. Um, but when you get multiple tree bends in the same area, and they're not all going in the same direction, and yet they all have the same arc, then you have to really take a second look at it and wonder what caused those particular trees or saplings to bend in the way that they did. And over the last few years, when I've posted videos, there's some interesting uh, bends that I've posted, including some that were actually were turned into a more or less a circle, 360-degree bend, where the tree has actually uh, possibly grown up along itself after having the tips of the branches being anchored down somehow, and having that anchor removed, I guess, could have happened that way. But you'll have to go back to some of my other videos and look at that. But we'll get back to this area here. Again, it's been almost 5 years since I've started investigating, and this is one of my original areas. I've had several sightings over the years here. Uh, they were pretty good. Couldn't get very good video of it. They were usually at night and did not have night vision equipment. So the camera that I was using had to rely pretty much on for night vision or low light vision purposes. Wasn't all that great, but I have that video I'm going to be putting up again for a night Bigfoot sighting that I'll be showing also this coming spring after I get that done. But this area, you might remember the winter trackway. That's what this area was done in. Where I'm walking now is an old access road. Hasn't been used in years except by an occasional, and I mean very occasional ATV user. From the looks of the signs here, it's been several months since anybody had been down here with an ATV. But we'll get into the new area that I found. And this is also off of the same power line that I've been exploring. This is a cemetery not too far from there. The cemetery doesn't really have anything to do with what we found, other than the fact that it was a convenient place to pull off the road and park, and we walked through it to get into the backwoods along the a brook that follows the power line that I've been investigating.
Pretty well maintained for its
And
age.
for you Mainers,
Pretty well
I'm
maintained
planning
for its age.
sometime this year on doing a in-depth hunt of this power line. And if any of you Mainers are interested in, joining in, let me know on my Bigfoot Tales Facebook page. Just send me a message from there, and we'll see what we can do about getting a bunch of people together to do an in-depth look at this power line. It's going to incur several miles of hiking. A lot of logistics will be involved in it, as far as transporting people and all that. So it's not going to be an easy thing to do, but I want to try and get that done. But at any rate, there's the roadway next to the cemetery. The particular brook that I've been traversing and finding a sign on runs behind this from the power line to a local river. And in this area, I didn't get a very good shot of it. The lighting was bad, and I couldn't get any relief images of a footprint that I found by the brook. So that's not going to be in here, but I did get some good pictures of some tree bends that you'll see coming up in just a moment. Way over that steep banking down there is where the brook is. Pretty good trailway for somebody to walk along. It's a deep gut. Somebody could easily walk along and not be seen by anybody from any of the roadways or any of the houses that might be along it. This goes into some pretty deep woods before it hits the river. And straight down over that area is where I found, you can see a little bit of the brook there way down over the hill. That's where I found some of the footprints. There was one that was pretty clear, but again, it was in moss, so the resolution, or rather relief, wasn't that great. We carried on down the brook for a while. And in coming up, we checked both sides of it, of course, for distance on either side. And in this one location, we came up with some interesting tree twists, which you'll see coming up. And Jim is coming up on one of them there, and he's going to turn around in a moment and let me know what he's seeing. Here's an interesting tree. The tree looks like it may have been hit by a lightning strike at some point in time, but what we're looking at here is a tree twist. It's up pretty high. One of the things that I found with tree twists is that a tree can get twisted, but it'll still grow, and as the tree grows, the tree twist will go with it, and it will make it seem like it was done at a greater height than what it was really done at.
Yeah.
And there's, you see some of the twistings there, and that looks like it was done actually by probably a lightning strike, I would guess. And there's also some rot involved in that tree as well, so some of it's kind of suspicious looking as far as it being non-natural, but I think in that case it's all purely natural. But here's the twist.
Definitely a twist. See that? And then you got that one right there too.
And that was, had a lot of oxidation in the tree fibers itself, so It had some age to it,
Exists that, you know, if you
but it
twist it
hadn't been
so that
done
your
in a
nutrients
comparative
go
fashion. It
through,
hadn't
so
been
the
done
tree
that
can
long
grow
ago.
taller. Even
I would
after
say
the
within
twist
a
is
year,
made.
but there was no way to tell for sure. Of course, we didn't see it happen. And here's a close-up of it there.
Quite old.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, these things are pretty interesting. A lot of them can be caused by natural occurrences, but you know, every now and again you come upon something that
It's
you
not
really
that
got to
old.
stop and look at
I
and
said, this isn't
question,
that old.
This wasn't
you
what?
know,
I
what
said,
it's
this is
really
not
all
that
about,
old
what
compared to the other
caused it,
ones.
how long ago it was made.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an older one now.
It's really hard to tell.
This one here, this is relatively recent. Earlier this year, probably sometime, I would say.
And there's that one right there too.
Yeah.
And we're going to move along. Not much to see there, of course. And coming up here pretty quick, you'll see where these tree bends are. There's several of them all in one area. They don't all go in the same exact direction, but they do have the same, or pretty close to the same radius of arc.
Here's a bend.
And you see them there. It was off to the right. I'm taking a look back at
Right
the
up in
twist
there.
there, and then it being mentioned that the twists are, I mean, the bends are there, and you'll see them coming up there. This one, in particular, I don't think the birch that is there is actually part of the original happening of that bend. I think it's just a fall. There is a birch tree off to the side, and that branch could have come from it. But these are interesting in that at the end of it, they're weighted down and crisscrossed into an X fashion. And of course, we all know about the infamous Bigfoot X's that we find through the woods. You see where it's weighted down by that one off to the left there. And I do have some still shots too that I'm going to be interjecting here after this particular clip. You'll see in just a few moments. But this is bed number one that we came across that day.
The birch, I think, is nothing. I think it's just fall.
And again, there are some other things,
This
aspects to
bend
this that I think happened after
is
the fact
interesting in that
to
it
make
goes
it look
down.
like it might have been natural, but
It's weighted down
I
by
think
these
just
two
happened that way.
that are in the necks.
Yeah.
But I do have a suspicion, based upon the
I'm
fact that
impressed.
this
Yeah.
sapling is
Well,
actually
I think
under
it's, you know,
some heavier trees, which would have blocked the snowfall anyways. I don't
no
think there
such
would have
thing
been
as
that much
definitive proof when
snowfall
you're looking at something
on
like this,
this
but
particular sapling to cause it to bend that way. So I'm going
This was
to
definitely lifted
suggest at
right
this
up here.
point that it's
yeah.
quite likely been done through non-natural
This is where
means.
footprints were found.
Yeah.
Here's a good view of the X caused by the branches being weighted down. And coming up here are some still shots of these bends. There's the clear shot of the X. And a distant shot of the entirety of the bend. And you can see where it was weighted down. Again, that birch branch I don't think is part of the original. But here are some of the other bends. You see that two of them go in one direction, the third one goes in the same direction, but they're almost arced in the same fashion. And there's Jim giving you a scale of the size of these bends. And you can see where this one was weighted down by the base of that tree. And there's another one there all by itself off to the side. And this is the big one, biggest one we found. It was twisted in through some other trees, so there's the beginning of it there. So it's very unlikely that it was caused by natural occurrence. You see where it goes up, and then it's twisted back down there. I lose it in my camera vision there, but I go back to it. The sun wasn't being helpful with the glare on the screen that day. It was over back to where it's bent, and up around and down the other side. See where it's twisted in through those other trees, which is very unlikely caused by snow melt, or snow weight rather. And there's the end of it. And that branch there was across the tips of that sapling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll turn around and get a good view of it. And that's our video for today. Just a short one again. Stay tuned to Bigfoot Tales. I have some more coming up. And we'll see you soon in the Bigfoot.